Why do I make mistakes? That also is done by Krishna only. Because without his presence, nothing can happen. That also happens because of God. Then why I have to suffer the things? So this is the answer. See, God has given this ability for us to make certain choices. Mana, buddhi and all has been given to us. What we do with it is like father giving pocket money to you. Whose money it is? Did you earn it? No. Then how did you get it? Your father decided to give you some money. He worked and earned it. He gave you on your birthday. Now what you do with that money is your choice. If you go with your friends and spend it on wrong things, you wasted the money. You do dana or charity, you do good things, you will enjoy that punyam. But one thing that you can surely do with that money is you can go back to your father and say, thank you very much for giving me this money, but I think I'm not mature enough to use it well. And I know you will always give me whatever I need even before I ask. So why do I need to keep this in my pocket and worry about whether it is there or not there, whether it's been stolen or is it safe? It's unnecessary headache for me. You keep the money with you. If I need something, anyway I know you will provide for it. So I don't want it for myself. Similarly, God has given us mana, indriya, all these abilities, and all the Vishaya Vasanas are there. You just return it back to Him, saying you only use it as you decide, because I am incapable of it, I may make mistakes. Your problem is solved. God will take over. You become an instrument, expression of the divinity, and imagine impossible things will be achieved through you. We are a witness to such a thing, right? In 10 years, what has happened is because we have offered our mind, buddhi, ahankara, everything to that supreme divinity and said, you use us as you please, not thy will. And everything has changed. So this is the idea of Krishna using all these things and making us get attracted to things, at the same time making us work for it. Once we are attracted to something, we have to work to get it. So avidya, kama, karma, that cycle starts off that moment. Then he says, Shrotram, Chakshu, Sparshanam cha, Rasanam, Ghranam evacha, Adhishthaya, Manaschayam, Vishayanu Pavasevate. What are the 5 indriyas? Adarthi, Kshotra, ears, Chakshu, eyes, Sparsha, touch, Rasana, taste, and Ghrana, smell. So all these faculties that I have, nose, eyes, ears, and things like that, which are all situated in the mind. Because eyes don't see really, ears don't hear. Behind that there is this mind, the software which runs inside, that makes all the hardware of this body work. So this mind which is there, all of them together enjoy the Vishayas. We know Vishayas are the sense objects. So if you want to eat something, taste something, enjoy something, you need an indriya. Like your hand should pick it up, should feel it is hot or cold, put it on your tongue, then you analyze the taste of it, then you enjoy it. Where you enjoy it, you don't enjoy it in your tongue, you enjoy it in your mind. Mind enjoys it. Somebody who is asleep, let's say, whose mind is like switched off kind of, even if you keep a thing in front of that person, he's not going to enjoy it. So mind is the reason why it enjoys, but mind itself is powered by whom? Mamaivamsho jiva loke, that is consciousness powers the mind. So mind is able to do its work because of the consciousness, and mind uses the indriyas to enjoy the world. This is the thing that Krishna is telling. If you see to look at Kathopanishad, a beautiful shloka comes, a very good beautiful analogy of a chariot, a charioteer, a passenger, the reins, the horses, the road and the destination. I'm just saying it for the sake of academic purpose. You can go and read for yourself. Atmanam rathinam viddhi, shariram rathamevatu, buddhim sarathi viddhim, manah pragrahamevacha, idriyani hayan ahu, vishayan teshu gocharan, atmaindriya manoyukta, bhokta ityahu manishinaha. What is the chariot? Body is the chariot. Atmanam rathinam. This body, this whole thing is the chariot, and then shariram is the chariot, and Atmanam means the self, the divine, the Krishna in us, the Supreme Lord, is the passenger. He is traveling in this chariot. And who is Sarathi, who is the driver? Buddhi, our intelligence. Because it has to decide to take a right turn or a left turn, or go straight, how to avoid a pothole and the traffic and a cow and a buffalo on the way. It has to think. So that is the idea of Buddhi. And Mana Pragrahameva. In old time, chariots had horses and they need to be having a rein or we have to bridle. With that we have to control the horses. So the idea is that thing, that leather straps which we use as a rein, that is mind. Because mind alone is capable of pulling the horses, pulling the senses. But who controls the mind? The intelligence. Because it knows this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing. And that's how this goes. And who are the horses? Horses are the 5 senses. That's what it says. 5 horses are 5 senses. And what are the things on which they are moving, towards which way they are moving? The sense objects. Eyes want to see some good things, so they run towards that. Run means they look that side. Ears want to hear something, so they tune themselves to that sound. Nose wants to smell something, so it goes and picks that up. So like that, each indriya runs towards the sense objects. So these are the gocharan. And Atmaindriya Mano Yuktaha. Who is enjoying this journey? Who is enjoying all these things? Atma is enjoying. But how? Using mana and indriya. Same thing he says. Adhishtaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate. Mana with the indriyas is seemingly enjoying the sense objects, but the real enjoyer of everything is Atman only, sitting inside. He is experiencing, through him we are experiencing everything. So Bhokta is the true Bhokta is the Atman only, not the mind and the senses, but through them he enjoys. Then what happens? Why are we not able to discriminate between this thing? Why we think we are enjoying, we are doing, we are achieving, we are so and so? Why this is happening to us? Krishna answers, Utkramantam sthitam vapi bunjanam va gunanvitam vimudha nanu pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. This self, that divinity, when it enters, we are alive. It sustains us. And when it leaves, utkramanti, it leaves us, it goes away. We think we are going away. We say such a person is born, such a person is dead. Person is dead means what happened for the person to die or for the person to be born? That Atman entered the person, therefore the person came alive. The amsha of that divinity entered. Why did the bulb come alive? Because electricity entered the bulb. Why did the bulb die? Electricity, by die means why did the light go off? Because electricity left the bulb. So that is the idea. So what happens that all these utkramantam, when it leaves sthitam, when it stays, va api bhunjana, when it enjoys or when it experiences while it is situated or stationed, va gunanvitam, because of the gunas, whatever it does. Vimudha nanu pashyanti. The foolish people cannot see the divine inside. They only see the body, mind, intelligence of the person, and they think this is all that person is all about. They only see the bulb and the color and the light, and they see this is all things are all about. They can't see the electricity, they don't believe there is electricity. This is the problem with whom? The foolish people who don't know anything about electricity. They will not understand why things are glowing like this and why they don't glow after some time. Pashyanti jnana chakshushu, but the one who has an eye of knowledge, jnana chakshu, a subtle vision, a deeper understanding of things. Such a person knows, this is all the divine only who is going through all the experiences. We think we are going through the experiences. So now you will say, all the misery that we go through, what happens then? Divine only is becoming miserable. No, it appears as if divine is becoming miserable. It appears as if divine is only enjoying. Divinity is not. You think the electricity is becoming happy when it is put through a 1000 watt bulb and becomes sad when it is put through a 0 watt bulb? It doesn't care. It appears, oh, it has become so dim now and it has become so bright here. But has electricity become happier or sad? No. But because of electricity only everything is happening. That is the idea. The foolish fellow will give all the credit to the bulb and the circuit and the wires. The jnani, the knower of electricity and all these things will only praise the electricity. Good quality, good voltage. Therefore things are working well. That is the idea of jnana chakshu. And how do we develop this jnana chakshu? Through scriptures, through the company of good people and gurus, we learn these truths and then we go and experiment. We try to find who is the one who is doing everything through us. See, we all are awake, then we know that we are all awake, we see things. You can take credit, I am awake, I did things. Then you are asleep. In the sleep, you go into deep sleep. You don't even know where you are sleeping and what is the time. But when you wake up, your body is intact. All the functions in the body are going on, right? Whatever you have eaten has been digested. Your blood is circulating. Your breathing is happening. So who is doing this when you are not even aware that you are even alive? Somebody is doing this. Somebody is running the whole show, even when you are not conscious. That thing is divinity, is what we are trying to tell, which takes care of everything, including your memory, chitta. It stores all that. Suppose you wake up and forget everything, what you did or whatever you were in the previous day. How will you survive? So that has all the power. It supports your memory, it supports your intelligence, it supports your mind, it supports your senses, it supports your body. It supports everything even when you are not aware of it. That is the idea of the divinity. So apparently it is the one which is doing and enjoying. But truth is that it is neither doing nor enjoying. It is only a witness to everything. It just happens through this. Now this thought is something that you sit and contemplate. You can't just get it. You may physically, listening to me, you may think, we have understood everything. But go back and sit and meditate Tomorrow when some ego starts cropping up in you because of your great achievements, or depression starts setting in because of some failures, tell yourself this. Tell yourself, this is happening because of my wrong identity, wrong understanding. I am neither this nor that. We chant Nirvana Shatakam day in, day out, but we don't contemplate on the meaning of it. Na sukham, na saukyam, na dukkham, na mantro, na tirtham, na veda, na yajna, all these things are there. So this knowledge is something that is not easy to tell. What is it? Ashtavakra says, Yatha tathopadeshena kritartha sattva buddhiman ajivam vi jignasu parastatra vimuhyate. The one who is having purity, one who is having this interest in this knowledge, whoever explains to them, even it is not a good teacher, that person will understand the knowledge. Because the student is so good. And the one who is simply curious and not really interested in the knowledge, simply shows as if interested. Such a person, whole life also if he tries to spend and learn, will not understand anything. So Shraddha is very important to understand this knowledge. Without Shraddha, you will not understand. Again, as I said, Kathopanishad says, Na nareravarena prokta esha suvignayo bahuda chintyamana ananya prokte gatiratra nasti aniyan hi tarkyam anupramana. This knowledge is so subtle, subtler than the atom. It's difficult to understand an atom because it is so small you can't even see it. But you have to believe it exists. And when atoms come together, they become molecules, elements, compounds, all that whole creation happens. So, but it is subtle knowledge. And who can understand it? The teacher also should be good in teaching it. But more importantly, Krishna says here is, the learner has to be very good. Mudha, if you are Mudha, what kind of Mudhatvam? You have Moha, you have Mana, you have Dussanga, you are not interested in Adhyatmic spiritual activities, and you have a lot of desires that fill your mind. This knowledge is not for you, Krishna is saying. You are wasting your time, nothing will go inside your head. Then he says, who can get it? Yatanto yoginaschainam pasyantyatmanyavasthitam yatanto api kritatmano nainam pasyantya chetasaha. He says, yatanto yoginaha cha enam. The yogis, the people who are interested in getting this knowledge, they put efforts. Without efforts, you don't get anything in this world. You have to put efforts. On spiritual path also, we have to put effort. What is the effort? To get rid of our ego, get rid of our pride, arrogance, attachments, develop interest in spiritual activities, and get rid of unnecessary, all these desires. This effort we have to put. Otherwise it is not going to happen. So he says, Yatanta yoginascha enam pashyanti. They see it. Where? Atmanyavasthitam. In themselves they see this truth. This truth is not something you go and learn from outside. This is something that you learn within. It is by the Atma, as the Atma, in the Atma. This is the knowledge. That is why Ashtavakra Gita says, Jnanam, Gyeyam, Tatha, Jnata, Tritayam na asti vastavam. Ajnanat bhati yatridam, soham asmi niranjanam, says Ashtavakra. Says, the knowledge, the knower and the known, these three do not exist separately. They are one only. This is spirituality. In physical sciences, things are different. But in spiritual science, all three are one. The knower and the knowledge and the known, they all become one. And they appear to be different, that I am the sadhaka, this is the sadhana, and that is the sadhya. All this appears different because of ajnana, ignorance. Otherwise, they are one only. But as we start purifying ourselves, this becomes clearer and clearer to us. So purification, chitta shuddhi is the way. So that is the sadhakas, this thing. So this is in the self, by the self, of the self, as the self. This adhyatma is by you, in you, as you, of you, for you. It's all about you. That's why spirituality is a very interesting subject, because it's about you. It's not about somebody else. So you should be interested in your own self, right? That is the idea. Then says, Yatanto api akritatmano, the one who is not putting efforts, the one who is not sincere. Even if he puts effort, the one who is not sincere. Yatantah api, even though he puts effort, who akritatmanaha, the one who is not free from the desires, the one who is not in a state of purity. What happens? Nainam pashyanti, na enam pashyanti. We cannot see this. Achetasa. Why achetasa is? His chetana, his force, his life force, his energy, his attention, his abilities are directed elsewhere. He's distracted. Achetasaha, distracted, not focused. So you can be in ashram. You can see me every day. You can go through Paravidya classes every day for 1.5 hours. If you are akritatman and achetasaha, you will not learn anything at the end of the whole year. Develop these qualities is what Krishna is saying, because only such people are yogis who put efforts and then they realize this self within themselves. And they know, I am only that self which I was seeking. I am not different from that which I was seeking. So this is the knowledge, ultimately you get it. See how easy it is. This knowledge is you, the knower is you, and the process is also you. Everything, you don't have to spend 1 rupee to gain this knowledge. Imagine you don't have to go to Harvard or Stanford or somewhere and spend lakhs of rupees or dollars to learn this. Nobody needs to teach. You are that as you are. What a beautiful thought, isn't it? This is something that we should hold on to. When Nisargadatta Maharaj's guru told him, you are God, you are Brahman. And Nisargadatta Maharaj was BD Baba, they used to call him, because he used to sell BDs, make BDs and sell in a pawn shop in Mumbai. So his guru told, you are God as you are. He said, with all these BD business and all these my habits, I am God. Yes, you are. Hold on to this thought firmly. Don't get this thought slip out of your hands. Bus, he caught a hold of that thought. I am divine only. So what if I smoke BDs? So what if I sell BDs? So what if I have big family? So what if I do? I am God, I am God. That got so firmly established in his head, he realized that he was God. And he helped so many people more. So that is the idea, that this is by the self, this knowledge of self-realization is for you, by you, in you, as you. So this is not different from you. That is the beauty of this knowledge. Yad aditya gatam tejo, yad jagat bhasayate akhilam, yes chandramasi yad chagno, tat tejo vidhi mamaka. That sun that shines, it's shining because of me. That glow in the sun is me only, Krishna is saying. That sun which illuminates the whole earth, in that sun, the power to shine is me. That's what Krishna is saying. Yes, Chandramasi. In moon also, that is me only. That shine is me. Yet Chagno. In the fire also, that ability to burn or whatever is me only. Tat tejo vidhi mamakam. All that teja is me only, is because of me. It's my ability which is reflecting in all the sun, moon. And sun is also called Chakshu. It is the lord of the eyes. So you can think of it as physical senses. Then moon is the lord of the mind, they say. Chandrama manaso jata, mind. So all the subtle senses and the mind also is enlightened by me only. Physical senses, the eyes represented by the sun. Subtle senses, the mind represented by the moon. And Agni. Agni is the entire body's, entire process, the physical process. Everything is done by me only, Krishna is saying. It is my power which is manifesting through all these things. Because he said, in my place, Surya is not there, Chandra is not there, Agni is not there. Then how do things happen there? What is the process? How do you see things there? It's my power which makes everything see. It's a very subtle thought, deeper thought is the consciousness which makes everything get illumined. And he can understand that. Gama vishyacha bhutani dharayam ahamojasa pushnami chaushadhi sarva somo bhutva rasatmakaha. I am the one who enters all the lokas, the planets. I am the one who is keeping everything, all stars, moon, planet in their own orbits and places. I am the one who is bearing all the beings. I am the one who protects, nourishes, sustains all the things through my ojasa, through my power. And pushnami cha aushadhi sarva somo bhutva rasatmaka. I only become the moon and I nourish the aushadhis, means the plants. They say the juice in the plants is because of moon. And because of course in sun all the water will evaporate, plants will become dry. It's the moon which cools the plant and allows the retention. Therefore we have juicy fruits and vegetables. So that juice, rasa. Also God is called as Raso Vaisaha. The essence of everything is Him. So basically it's a way to say that all that is happening is my power only which sustains everything. Don't be deluded that anything is happening because of you. Without me you are nothing. If I withdraw, nothing remains here. That is the idea. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha Prana Apana Samayukta Pachamyanam Chaturbidam. That makes us all feel hungry now. Our food mantra it is. We chant this, right? Everybody chants. Aham Vaishwanara Bhutva. I am that fire in the belly of all the beings, the hunger. And Prana Apana Samayukta. There are 5 kinds of Vayus are there. Prana, Upana, Apana, Udana, Vyana, Samana. For another day I'll keep this description of Vayus. But these are called Pancha Pranas which help us to manage our physiological, biological systems. To breathe in, to breathe out, to excrete, to maintain the temperature. All these are done by these 5 kinds of forces. All that is me only. I only do that. And then pachami annam chaturvidam, the digestion power in you is me. And I digest four kinds of things. Four kinds of things are bhojyam, which has to be chewed like chapati, then peyam, which has to be drunk like water or juice, then koshyam, which is to be sucked like sugar cane or or maybe chocolate and your thumb also at times, and lehyam, that has to be licked. So all these are kinds of food that you enjoy. Everything is enjoyed because of my power to digest. Imagine if one day your digestion is not good, what's going to happen? You can't be healthy. You will be miserable. Everybody around you will be miserable. So difficult. So that power in me, in you, everything is me only. Krishna is saying, relate everything to the divinity only. But foolish people will relate it to their health, their fitness, their abilities. Whereas the divine people, the spiritual people will see that it is only the divine who is making all these things happen. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannavishto matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. I am there in the hearts of all the beings, he says. Heart means not the physical heart. Heart means the core. Like heart of the city, when they say it is the center or the middle or the most important part of the city. So like that, I am in the hearts of all. I am residing in everybody. And mattah smriti jnanam apohanam cha. Apohanam means forgetfulness, and jnanam means knowledge, smriti means memory. Matta, all these things are me only. So you will be very happy, although all the forgetfulness I have is also because of Krishna only. Yes, all the lessons that you forget the next day is because of Krishna. And the things that you remember also is because of him. And the memory or the wisdom, knowledge that you gain is also because of him. It's important, right? Forgetfulness is important. All the bad things we have done to others and others have done to us. If we keep on remembering them, then we will be miserable forever. So sometimes forgetfulness is a good quality. Forget and forgive, as they say. Forget what others have done to you, in the sense the wrong things. But don't forget what you have done to others, I say sometimes, because then you will repeat the mistakes. But idea is that all the power, all the ability of the mind, body, annam pachami, all that is me, prana, apana, samavita, the subtle energy is me, the mental energies, the faculty of intelligence, memory, buddhi, mana, all this is also because of me, is what Krishna is telling. See, we are born in every birth, we forget what we did in the last birth. That forgetfulness is also because of the divine will only. If you remember all our past births, but some people who are very divine, they are capable of going into their past births and knowing what they have done, like Buddha did it. He found out all these past births. So all abilities are me, that is what he is trying to say. Vedeshcha sarvaih ahameva vedyo vedanta krit veda videva cha aham. He says, Vedeshcha sarvaih, of all the things that needs to be known in the Vedas, whatever is described, ahameva vedyaha, I am the knower of it all. How he is the knower? Because he is the creator, the one who has created knows everything. So Vedanta krit, I am the one who has created the Vedanta, Vedas. All the knowledge systems are created by me only. Vedavid eva achaham. All the things are known also by me only. See, the knowledge is created by me, knowledge is me, and it's known by me. That's why it says Jnanam, Gyayam, Gyata, all is one in only in our spirituality. Krishna only is the source of knowledge, embodiment of knowledge, knower of that knowledge, creator of the knowledge, everything is him only. So if we have any abilities in our life, sum and substance of this shloka is, please don't attribute to some your ego, mind and your physical or mental or intellectual abilities. All that is powered by the divine abilities that is gifted to us by the divinity alone. So that way we are all blessed, because if you are able to breathe, eat, talk, move, do anything, is because of that divine power. So where is divinity? I can't see God. If you can see yourself, you can see God. If you can see others, you can see God. If you can hear, taste, smell, touch, feel, you are the very embodiment of God. Because of God, all these things are happening. This is how you must develop faith in the presence of God in everything, in every situation. Dvavimau purusho loke shara cha aksharam evacha sharha sarvani bhutani kutastho aksharam uchyate. He says there are two kinds of purusha. Now you will say it's getting complicated. First you say there is purusha and prakriti. Now you say in purusha also there are two kinds. But these are all different ways of Krishna telling the same thing. He says two kinds of purushas are there in you. What are the purusha? One is akshara purusha, another is akshara purusha. Kshara is that one which decays, akshara is that which does not decay. So in us, what is the kshara which decays? Body decays, Mind also, thoughts also decay, means we forget things and we'll lose our memory, mind. But what does not decay in us? That consciousness does not decay. In the sense, if it leaves us, it does not become less. If I break the walls down, space has not become more. Space was the same, outside, inside. Measurement of the space happened with these walls. But if I break the wall, space has not increased or decreased. Likewise, consciousness doesn't increase or decrease by the death or the birth of a few extra beings in the world. It remains the same. So that is the idea. So that consciousness which is in the matter, remember even matter has consciousness, we told about that. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Ekam Bahunam, our scriptures say. Even in the atom there is consciousness. That power is there. Why? Without that intelligence, how do you manage those protons and neutrons and subatomic particles? How do you keep electrons at the right distance from the protons? How do you make two atoms come together and make a molecule? This whole intelligence is divinity only. No? There it may not be able to talk, walk, and like I say, God sleeps in matter, breathes in plants, whatever, walks in animals, and thinks in man. So it's only God who manifests his powers in different ways. Even in that so-called sentient things, divinity exists. That's why we pray to earth, we pray to rivers, we pray to mountains. So to say, it's just matter. But we all personify them as divinity. This is our culture because we saw divinity in everything. That's why we are very conscious of not hurting anybody or anything. Even environment, we were always very kind and careful. It's the Western idea which has changed the thought process, that matter or the material resources are at our disposal, we are the masters and we can use as we want. And today all of us are suffering with climate changes and environmental issues. But Indian thought process was very different. We were very careful not to hurt anybody, anything, including matter was not destroyed. When we do Bhumi Puja, we pray to Mother Earth, we are digging you to build a house for ourselves. Please bless us, please forgive us for the difficulties that I give. You will, like two people went to a river, a Western man and an Indian one. Indian one took a dip and felt purified within and without. Not only his body was washed clean, but his mind also got purified because he took a dip in a sacred river. Whereas somebody who does not believe in the sanctity or the purity or the divinity of the river water, for him only body is clean, mind is still dirty. But for us, mind also gets clean because we feel there is divinity in the river. So this idea is very, very deep in Indian philosophy, that everything is divinity. So he is telling, Dvavimau Purusha. There are two kinds of Purusha. Purusha means that divinity which resides in all. One is Akshara Purusha, which is matter, which changes, decays, changes, including the body. And the Akshara Purusha, the divine consciousness within, which remains even after the body dies. Okay? Shara Sarvani Bhutani Kutosthara Kutaha Atha Akshara Uchyate. All the beings are called as Shara only because bodies die. Then what is Akshara? That Akshara is steady, which does not change. Kuta means in an ironsmith's shop, you'll see there is a kind of a peg, iron peg like thing, a rod, using which he uses other iron rods and shapes them. Sometimes if you go to see our construction site, you will see an iron rod will be fixed. With that, they will bend the other steel rods and things like that. So that is called Kutaha. So there is something which is the reason why things happen around it. That is also I am, this is also I am. Also, if you look deeply into this, Akshara part is our body, in a way our thoughts, emotions which keep changing. But Akshara part is something in us which does not die. Now if you go a little more deeper into our philosophies, there are three kinds of bodies are there. Physical body, Sthula Sharira, mental or a subtle body, it's called the Sukshma Sharira, and causal body or Karana Sharira. And there are Pancha Koshas are also there. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha. There are 5 sheaths. These are all from the Upanishads. Taittiriya Upanishad says that. Food sheath is the physical being. Prana is the life force that drives this physical body. Mind is subtler than the prana, which controls all our senses, sense organs, our experiences, perceptions. Vijnana, a sense of awareness, which makes us conscious of things. And Anandamaya Kosha, that avyakta, which remains subtly available, but it is only manifesting when our intelligence, our mind, our prana and our bodies are all in a pure state. Then we can see, it's like one layer after the other. Think like that. But this is from the Upanishads. You have to study those Upanishads to find out. So when we die, what happens? When we die, our body falls. The prana, the life force, detaches itself from the physical body. So body decays and dies immediately after death. This prana, the energy, merges into the mind. This mind with all its memory impressions in Vijnana, that is Vijnana means the knowledge of everything, is called as the subtle body or Sukshma Sharira. Sometimes you will have darshans of gods or divine beings. They come to you, they are exactly like how they are physically. They look like that, they feel like that, they behave, talk, walk. That is the Sukshma Sharira. And beyond that is called Karana Sharira, which is only the Anandamaya Kosha. It has all your past memories are there in that. But it does not in an unmanifest state, in a seed state. So when you die, what happens? Only physical body dies. Your mental sheets are withdrawn from the physical body. They go to the lokas. Remember the lokas, good lokas, bad lokas and things like that. And they wait there. For what? To get another body and come back again. How do they come back? Based on what they have done in the previous birth. Yoni manye prapadyante sharirattvaya. After giving up the body, that particular energy of your mind, your thoughts, your desires, your ambitions, your unfulfilled ideas, all these remain in the subtle body. And what happens to that? That looks for another body to get into. So we are born again in a certain family, in a certain situation. So this is not the first time we are born. We have been coming here quite a few times, but every time we come, we forget that we were born before. Some jnanis remember their past births. And they are able to realize, oh, I've been here, I've done all these things before. What is the point in repeating the things again? And they want to withdraw. Like Bharata, Jada Bharata story is there. He remembered his past. So next time he decided not to get entangled in the world and realized and redeemed himself. So all these are two parts. One is the physical body which changes and dies. The Akshara Purusha is the one, the Jivatma, which carries all the ideas, vasanas with it. However, Krishna says, this is not enough complication. He complicates it further by saying, Uttama Purushastu Anyaha. The Uttama, this is Purusottama Yoga, right? So it's not Shara Purusha Yoga, it is not Akshara Purusha Yoga, it is Purusottama Yoga, the supreme being. That being only enters the matter, that being only enters the life force, that being is also beyond the two, he says. So the supreme being who is beyond these two, Paramatma iti udahirataha. He is known as the Supreme Atma. We are Jivatma and that is Paramatma. And the matter is no Atma, it is only matter. But anything that is moving has Atma in it. Most of the other religions don't believe. They say, how can cow have an Atma? How can animals have Atma? Soul is only for human beings. But our scriptures believe it is there in everything. Unmanifest, manifest and different ways of manifestations. That's all it is. So he says there is the Purushottam is beyond these two Kshara and Akshara. What happens to Yo Lokatrayam Avishya Bibhartya Avyaya Ishvaraha. He permeates all the three worlds, he says. Now again you'll ask, what are these three worlds? Where does he permeate? Our scriptures say there are three worlds, Jagrata, Swapna and Sushupti. When you are awake, which I hope most of you are, that is one state, one loka it's called. Second is dream state, which some of you might be going through. That is the second state, second loka. Third is deep sleep state, where you are not dreaming, but you are not awake also. That is called Sushupti. These are the three states of our existence. You go and check, all the time you are in one or the other of these three states only. You can't be in the fourth state. Fourth state means this way you cannot be in fourth state. But in our scriptures, we call of another state called the fourth state, which is present in all the three states, they say. So it's not really a fourth state. It is the only state which is present in all the three. What is that? Jagrita avastha means you are awake. Swapna avastha, you are dreaming. Sushupti is when you are in deep sleep. But in all the three, have you disappeared? While Jagrita, you know, I am so and so boy and girl in this class, or I am such a devotee. In Swapna avastha, you may dream of you being the king of some country or prime minister of some country, but that won't happen. That is in a dream state. But you know that you have dreamt, because when you wake up, you remember the dream. And third is in deep sleep. In deep sleep, you are not even awake, you are not aware. You don't remember anything. After a deep sleep state, do you remember that you were sleeping? You wake up and say, I thought I just slept for 2 minutes. You just slept for 10 hours, you won't realize. Because you're in deep sleep state where all your senses have been withdrawn into the mind. Mind has been withdrawn into the consciousness, they say. So that state is also permeated by me. But when you come awake, because you had forgotten everything in your deep sleep, after coming awake also, do you forget everything about you? Somebody has to tell you your name in class. No. Suddenly all the memory comes back to you. Which had disappeared in your deep sleep state comes back to you again in your wakeful state. The dream state where you had thought yourself to be the professor or the prime minister falsely, that memory disappears and you are the student in this class, that memory comes back to you in wakeful state. So who maintains all these memory? Who manages all these memory when you are not physically active or mentally active? That consciousness manages it, they say. That consciousness is called Turiya Avastha. This is the fourth state, they call it. So when we chant Omkara also, Omkara is represent the first curve is Jagrata Avastha, the second curve is Swapna Avastha, the third curve is Sushupti, and then the Bindu which is on top, fourth, beyond the Chandra Bindu, that is called as Turiya. So when you chant Om also, you have to chant like this. Means my wakeful state, the body. Means my Swapna state, dream state, which is the mind. Then you go to the last state, the Sushupti state. By that time, most of the people reach that state while chanting Om. But the third curve is for Sushupti state, deep sleep state, which says that all the mind has been withdrawn, but I am still aware of myself. And that awareness is represented by the that Bindu, which is, I always call the silence after chanting Om. So you chant Om the right ways, you chant. After Om chanting, there should be a little silence. You should observe the silence. Because in that silence is the purest state of your existence. Another way of putting it is, you say, I am so and so. I am a man, I am a woman, I am a boy, I am a girl. If I remove boy, girl, woman, man, what remains? I am remains. I am is the consciousness. Nobody can take it away from you. Can anybody take away your presence, your existence? No. Your existence as a student can change. Because you will graduate and you will reach a college. So from school student, you became a college student. That has changed. I am a school student, I am a college student has changed. But I am cannot change. That concept in our scriptures is defined as Paramatma, that understanding of I am. So when you meditate, you have to meditate. I am not the body, mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankaranaham, na cha shrotra jive, na cha grana netre, na cha vyoma bhumi, na tejo, na vayu, chidananda rupa, shivoham. That aham is the truth, on which everything else is dependent. That is independent. I is independent, but I am a boy. Being a boy is dependent on that I. Being a girl is dependent on that I. I itself is independent. That state is called Paramatma. Bibhartya avyaya Ishvara. It sustains everything. It bears everything. Bharta means it protects, nourishes, provides for. All other things exist because you exist. You exist not as a body. Because after your body doesn't exist, then what happens to all that you did? But I feeling, that Paramatma feeling in you is the reason why everything else exists in you. And this is beyond the Kshara and Akshara Purusha. Kshara Purusha is the body. Akshara Purusha is the causal body, that which brings all the memory and everything back to you when you are born again. And beyond that is Parama Purusha or Purushottama, which is untouched, unmanifest source of all existence, which is also in you, in me, in this table, chair, in everything. But here it is in a manifest form. In the supreme, most purest state, it is in the unmanifest form. That is our scriptural truth. Now towards the end shlokas, Yasmat aksharam atitoham aksharaadapi chottamaha atosmi loke vede cha pratita purushottamaha. He says, because I am beyond the Akshara and Akshara as the higher self, I am praised by all the Vedas as the ultimate Purushottama. I have chanted up. Vedas declare me as the ultimate, not Krishna as the physical Krishna. Krishna as the supreme, primordial, divine principle which exists everywhere, which has never changed, which has never got destroyed or diminished. It has no beginning, middle or end. It was there, it is there, it will continue to be there. That primordial principle is Purushottama, the highest and the best, which never changes, which never gets destroyed, which never comes and goes. So the Vedas describe to me as that ultimate which is beyond Kshara and Akshara. I am that ultimate principle called Purushottama, and I am praised by the Vedas. Yo mam eva sammudho janati Purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. The one who is not deluded, who is able to see that subtle principle of the divine presence in everything and everyone, who comes to know of me as the Purushottama, the supreme principle, the supreme resident of all beings, sa sarvavid bhajati mam, he worships me in every way. Whomever he sees the divinity. Whomever he meets, he sees divinity in that. Whatever he experiences as a divine experience. Bad, good, ugly does not exist for such a person. Everything is divinity only. Something good happens, God's grace. Bad happens, God's wish. You are succeeding, God's prasadam. You fail, God's lesson. Everything you see as a divine principle only. And whoever you come across, you treat them with respect and love them because you want to worship the divinity in all. And sarva bhavena bharata, in all ways, in all situations, in all feelings, he only sees me, nobody else. So you may see a man or a woman, but the divine person will see God only in everything. The stone also God, tree also God, animal also God, everything is God. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati nandati nandatyeva. Such a person is always happy because his mind is connected with Brahman. You may see the body, you may see the mind, he sees the divinity inside. You may see the bulb, you may see the color of the light, he sees the electricity inside. So he has that subtle vision, jnana chakshu. So finally Krishna is concluding, he says, iti guhyatamam shastram idam uktam mayanagha etad buddhva buddhiman syad krita krityascha bharata. So, oh dear Bharata means the son of Bharata from the lineage, as well as the one who he was known as Bhagavantudulo Ratinchevadu Bharatiyudu. He is interested in divinity, he is interested in spirituality, so also he is a Bharata. Then, or Bha means knowledge, Rata means interested, who revels in knowledge. See, Arjuna is interested in knowledge, right? That's why he is going on asking questions. So he is a Bharata. So such a Bharata you are. So I am telling you this ultimate knowledge, Guhya Tamam, Guhya, Guhyataram, Guhyatamam. Guhya means secretive knowledge. Not everybody knows it. Guhyataram means super secretive knowledge. Only your friends know it, nobody else knows it. Guhyatamam, you also don't know who you are. This is the knowledge. It is hiding in plain sight. That's why it's Guhyatam. It is so funny because this knowledge is our existential truth. Yet we are not able to access it. We are not able to know it. That is why it is Guhyatamam knowledge. It is not to be found somewhere. It is to be found within us. Nowhere else. Once Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar were discussing, it seems there's a story for children, where to hide this divinity so that it's very difficult to find it. Brahma said, let us hide in the Akasha somewhere. They said, no, they'll take a plane, go, and even rockets now, and go and find out where the divinity is. Then Vishnu said, we'll hide it in the ocean. He said, no, they will dive like good deep sea divers. They'll go down, dig, and find out the divinity there too. Then Shiva said, let us to hide it on the mountain top, Kailasha. So they'll climb up, their hikers, they'll climb and come there also and find divinity. Where should we hide? Then they all decide that we should hide it within the man only. Because that is one place man will never search. Everywhere we search, but we don't search within. So where is God? God is within, they say. How does he exist? He exists as you. Your very consciousness is God. How do you know you are God or not? Are you conscious? Are you aware? Are you able to understand, listen, do things? Yes, that power is God. Without that power, nothing will work. If I just pull out the plug and electricity is disconnected, can TV work, light work, fan work? Nothing will work. All this is working, it means what? Electricity is present. How do you know electricity is present? By just looking at the light, bulbs, the fan, the sound. If all this is working, it means electricity is present. Can you see electricity? No. Can you touch electricity? No, you'll get a shock, but that is not electricity. That has moved on by the time you see. It has moved through you, therefore you experience the shock. But you cannot hold it, you cannot weigh it, you cannot. So this is the idea of divinity also. It is there. Because it is there, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvam vidavajati. Because it shines, only everything is shining. It means because it is present in you, you are God. Therefore you are able to touch, taste, smell, hear, feel, read, learn, understand, experience. All this is happening because of the presence of God in you. If God is not in you, you will not be able to experience all these things. That is the whole concept. He says, this is the Shastram, this is the textbook, what I have taught you. Step by step I have taught you how to realize what is Prakriti, what is Purusha, what is Guna, what is Akshara and Kshara Purusha, how to develop the purity, what good qualities you require to attain this understanding and knowledge. So he says, know this, Maya Anaga, O sinless one. He considers Arjuna as the sinless one, pure. That's why he is teaching him all these things. Etad buddhva, knowing this, buddhiman chat, become intelligent. Buddhiman means the one who uses Dhi Shakti, who discriminates. If somebody else sees, a dog is coming. Jnani sees God is coming. That is the difference. But he behaves according to dog's behavior. Once Ramakrishna Paramahansa's disciple was there. Ramakrishna says in everything God exists. So one disciple, when a mad elephant was rushing and coming, and he was on the way of the mad elephant. So he said, elephant is also God only. I am seeing God in the elephant. Nothing will happen to me. Elephant came and pulled him and threw him, and few bones broke. And then he came complaining to Ramakrishna Paramahansa, you told me you see God in everything. I saw God in elephant. Look at what it has done to me. He said, you know that elephant is God, but elephant does not know that it is God. Therefore it did this to you. So don't do these foolish things also. If you really experience God, like Adi Shankara has experienced God, what happened? Somebody wanted to get him killed. One tiger was there, a man-eater tiger was there, and somebody showed him the wrong path, saying, go this way and you will reach. Idea was to get him killed. But when the tiger appeared in front of Adi Shankaracharya, he said, you are divine. And if I can be of some use to satiate your hunger today, so be it. Let my body be a food for you. And the tiger withdrew, as if his hunger disappeared. So see, that knowledge, you should do not fool around saying theoretically God is in everyone. Unless you have experienced and you believe it, you will not be able to understand this. So theoretical knowledge is no knowledge at all. If you can repeat it 100 times these shlokas, you don't become jnani. By buying a harmonium, you don't become a musician. Harmonium acquiring a guitar doesn't make you a guitarist. Similarly, buying a Bhagavad Gita doesn't make you a jnani. You have to practice. So he's saying, Buddhiman syat, become intelligent. How? By doing all the practices that I have described. Become sinless, mayanagha. And then what happens to you? You will be able to discriminate. Sukshma drishti will come. Jnana chakshu will come to you. In every situation. Patibodha viditam matam amritattvam vindate. All situations you will see divinity only. Good, bad, ugly. Everything is divine. And what will happen then? Kritakrityascha bharata. All that needs to be done, achieved in this life, take it from me, you would have finished achieving all that thing. There's nothing more to be achieved. Basically, that is what Krishna is saying. Right now, we have so many ambitions, ideas. I have to do this, I have to go there, I have to achieve that. All these ideas will disappear. Whatever needs to come your way, whatever you need to do, as if under some divine great influence, you will simply become an instrument and everything will happen through you. Kritakrityascha bharata. This whole continuous restlessness about doing, achieving, enjoying will disappear. You will become calm and happy. And whatever comes your way, you will take it as God's prasadam, and you don't have to trouble yourself. This is when you know who you are. Ayamasmi iti purushaha. When I know I am that person, I am the divine, I am the kim icchan kasya kamaya shariram anusanjaret, says the Upanishad. Why should you trouble your body and mind to achieve things? That when you know you are the divine will do anything and everything through you. Why should you take the unnecessary trouble of the ego of doership and suffer? Why should you do that? He says, just be. Realize who you are, just be. Everything will happen through you. Therefore, I say, Jnanis don't do anything. It's done for them. That's why there's no doing in Jnanis. But deep down, what I know, that one divinity only is running this whole show, this puppet show. We are all dancing according to that divine command. To that extent we are good, to that extent we are bad, to that extent we are punyatmas, to that extent only we are papatmas. Therefore punyam, papam doesn't exist in the true sense. For a knower of the truth, everything is neutral, nothing exists for him. Develop that intelligence, develop the sukshma buddhi, jnana chakshu, with which you can discriminate between this foolish idea that everything is body and mind and shara and matter and jada, versus everything is permeated by divinity. This is manifestation of the same divinity in so many forms. You can fight over a gold bangle or a gold chain or a gold ring, but the one who knows that it is all made of gold, he has no problem. Wave, the foam or froth or the ocean may look different, but a jnani sees all of it as water. Somebody wrote to me, Swami, I have realized that I am not the wave, I am the ocean. I said, Ayyo, you're not even the ocean, you are the water, I said. Because ocean is also a form, a name or a form given to a water. Tomorrow the same water goes off into a river, they'll say this is a river. You are neither the ocean, nor the waves, nor even the river. You are only the water, like that. The essence, the substratum, the foundation the fundamental thing that you are. So you have to tell yourself. That is why this Nirvana Shatkam, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. I keep asking you to chant that, hoping that someday this knowledge will reveal itself to you, provided you are Nirmana, you don't have ego, Nirmoha, you don't have any delusions, you are Jitasanga, Dosha, you don't have any bad company, bad associations, bad attachments. Then Adhyatma Nitya, you are ever interested in spiritual things, always putting efforts. And then, what was the last one? Vinivritta Kamaha. You have given up all desires. Study, not for a desire's sake. Study because that is your duty, that is your dharma. God has given you this opportunity. Study, do your best and leave the rest. This is how one should lead one's life. Then there is no sorrow. Tatra ko moha kashokaha ekatvam anupashyataha, says our Isha Upanishad. Where is moha, delusion? Where is shoka, sorrow for such a person who sees only one, who doesn't see many? A dog enters a room full of mirrors, sees so many dogs, starts barking out of ajnana. A man enters the room, sees his reflection in all the mirrors, feels happy. Everybody knows this is me only. The moment you see all this is me, you become happy. You become happy. That is the idea. See yourself in everyone as divine only. In yourself there is divinity, in everyone also there is divinity. Develop this idea, be buddhiman syat, kritakrityascha. Be done with all that needs to be done in this world. Live, have no desires, have nothing to do, nothing to achieve. Why? Because everything will be done and achieved as it is destined, as it is kind of decided by the divine. You simply become an expression of that divinity. That's why I said, what is your role in life? Be purest expression of the divine will. That's all. Nothing else. Don't interfere with it. Don't obstruct it. Don't become a problem for it. Just be, and all the things will happen. So this meditation of aham, I am, must be done. Sit down and do this when you go back. Sit down and think. Become aware of your presence. You are sitting here. You are aware of your body. Then slowly withdraw from the body. Now become aware of your mind and the thoughts in the mind. Then slowly withdraw from the mind. Become aware of the awareness which was aware of the mind, which was aware of the body. And establish yourself in the awareness as calling it as aham. Aham. This is your true introduction. This is your true nature. This is your true property. Aham. The existence. That is Purusottama. So when you meditate on that, you will get rid of all other problems that come out of your body and mind and intelligence and memories. All these can be distorted. You withdraw from Prakriti into Kshara Purusha, into Akshara Purusha, into Purusottama, and sit peacefully there. Nobody can disturb you. Let the world go around and whatever happens, within you, you will be calm and peaceful. Then you can think right, you can do right, you can express the divinity right. This is what you should learn at the end of our education. More and more jnanis are required for this world. We don't need intelligent engineers. We don't need amazing doctors. We need, in the sense they are needed. But more than that, what the world needs today is jnanis. And that's why our university or education institutions' main goal is to produce jnanis. Who are jnanis? Who have realized this knowledge, who are living this knowledge on a daily basis. They are jnanis. Rest all are jigyasus and others. So we need jnanis. Become jnanis. That's when your graduation gets over here. For devotees, jnanis should be the way of life. This is our idea. This is our culture. This is what we expect from each one of you.